this section, I will be briefly explaining the intro part to Design Heritage site and show you how to upload models, images, and how to start a new project. So first thing first, I believe everyone has access to this uh, web page, and then you can go access our Design Heritage beta set, which you will be using specifically for your course here. So if I go to here, open link in new tab. So this will be the homepage you'll see. One thing I have to point out is that this is our test version. However, if you see the public version, which is currently live, if you search Design Heritage on Google, and this is the old version. So how do you differentiate that? Is that our new version, the beta version, we have a dark orange MDH icon on the top left, but for the old version, you won't see that anymore. So if you ever wonder, hey, why my AR is not working, and make sure you are using the beta version, and you can also tell that it is
Because
debug side.
AR only works on the beta version.
Yeah, AR only works on the beta version. Okay, so when we're entering our homepage, you will see there are a couple of things. There are some of the examples, and then the hello, signing, and the info user guide. So let's just look at the user guide very quickly. So go here. So you will be able to find the text reference of everything I explained in this part, and especially the importing of our Revit model here. If you forget something, you can always refer to that. So now let us go back to the main part. So first thing first, we have to sign in here. After clicking the sign in button, you can enter your email, your password, but if this is your first time using Design Heritage, you have to sign up here using your email and set up your password. Okay, so I'll be logging into my account. Okay, so after signing, you will be seeing that there are more options on the top right corner. So you will see my asset, my project, the upload function, and your name here, the option to sign out, and the info user guide stays the same. Okay, now since we already logged in, I'll be explaining how to upload our first model. So go to my asset. This is not my first model, but you get the idea. Go to upload in my asset, and you can also just click upload here. They works the same. So go to upload this blue button over here. You will see the initial, choose what kind of object you want to upload into your asset in Design Heritage. So first thing is there are three options. First is the upload scan model, which would be a OBJ with a single image texture that could be your scanned photogrammetry model, but in this section, since we're using Revit, your CAD model will be looking at the second and the third one. So the most important part of is the third one, right? Upload CAD model with color. So click on that, right? You will be able to import your OBJ file and your MTL file directly from your Rhino export, as Takehiko explained from the previous video. But if you click on the run, for example, I whoops click on the JPEG on the scanned model option, you can always go back and then go to the third option. So from here, you can either click to select my model and then make sure it's under 200 megabyte. Similarly for an MTL file, make sure it's under 10 megabyte and make sure you select the corresponding MTL file. And you can also drag and drop your OBJ and MTL file into these, but I find it more safer just to click to select and then import. So once you have the two with the star sign, right, those are needed. And the JPEG is still under developing, so you can ignore that for now. So go to preview and it show up your Rhino model with the colors you assigned from the previous section. So now you're looking at several things, right? So the first is there's a grid. Okay, so this grid is 100 by 100 unit. So remember from the previous section that you are asked to scale your model down to fitting the 100 by 100. So that's where it comes, right? And you can also tell how big your model is approximately when comparing to the grid. So, and you will tell me, well, this grid is too much. There is a option to turn off the grid using this toggle, and then here, okay. Couple of another things that you will see that there's a shadow, right? So this shadow, it is
But
not on your texture.
just about the model, so just a little bit bigger than 100 or smaller, it doesn't matter. It's just 100 is a good size, 100 by 100.
Yeah,
And you can change it, you can scale it later in the process. But if it's already arranged that the size is around 100 by 100 or within that, uh, it's much easier for the rest of the process.
yeah.
Right.
It's
Right.
not
Yeah.
it's not that you cannot have it above 100. It's that it makes your life easier by
Yeah.
not trying to scale that from like 10,000 K,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, we can continue. So this is the preview of your model. You can just rotate it and check if I have everything, right? And then now this is preview, and then we're going to give the model a name. So house model solid, something like that. Creator, write your name or your group name. So model info, you can write something, and you don't have to write something, but make sure uh, you write down the required option. And then a thumbnail is also required. You can capture that using this one, and it will capture the current model orientation and then where it is on your screen. Or you can select the image, or if you have a specific image for it. And if you have maybe a detail differentiation of this model, you can also zoom in, right? For example, if I add a third bench or I remove the bench, I can say, well, I really want to show that this is the model with the correct number of benches right here. And then that's it. That's what you need for uploading a model here. Okay. And then set vertical up. This is not necessary. However, if you forget about changing y-axis up to z-axis up, or in your Revit, when in Rhino, when you're uploading, make sure you go back to Rhino and then check that option, because if you want to rotate and scale something that precisely here, it will be harder than doing that in Rhino. Okay, so have everything here,
So,
and we'll hit upload model.
yeah. So if you didn't properly check the option for exporting from Rhino, uh, your model here may seem rotated by 90 degrees. In that case, I strongly recommend to go back to Rhino and re-export it with a proper option. And the option is to say something like switch Y up and Z up uh, um, vertical coordinate system.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In Rhino export option, you
yeah.
will have that in documentation from the handout, or remember the user guide. You can also refer to that. Okay, so let me just upload an image. So that was our Revit model, and then I will show you how to upload image. So upload image is fairly simple. We go to the second option, and you just have to upload one image. Select one image. So the most important thing for uploading an image is that you have to make sure that it's less than 10 megabyte, and also for the image size, the pixel size of the image itself, due to the processing power of smartphones, of the AR backbone in this website, it is recommended that your image size in pixel is less than 2000 by 2000. And you can make sure, you can double check on that, or you can downsize any image in Photoshop as you will. And then click on image or drag in your image and hit preview. So what it does here is that it pastes your image onto a plane geometry, right? One-sided rendered plane geometry
Yeah.
in
So
this 3D space.
for people in my class, I gave you drawings from the Foundation's archive, and they may be super high resolution because they are scanned drawings, like 10,000 pixels wide or 8,000 pixels wide. Those will not work on the mobile phone to do AR or texture mapping. So in that case, you can go to Photoshop and shrink the size, pixel size. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So especially you have the high resolution scanned images, you should downsize that. Okay, so again, you put in the title, the creator, and some model info. If there's an archive, I recommend you putting the archive number for copyright issue. And then like you can just go upload model. And then once you see your model has been successfully uploaded in this pop-out, which means you can now access that anywhere in your assets. You see this house plan A, and this was the model, Rhino model I just uploaded. Okay, so once I have the models I want to be put into a project, the next step is to create a project, a new project for myself. Okay, so go to the second tab on the top right corner, my project. I already have some, but if you just create a new account, you won't see anything here. But you can do the create new project, the blue button over here. So the only thing you have to put in here when you're creating a new project is the project name. Say house with plan and project info. You can type anything you want. And for the editors, you can add another editor such as your teammate uh, by adding their email address that is associated with Design Heritage account. Or you can add that later. So yeah, this is the name is literally the only thing you have to do. So go to create, okay, and then it will automatically take you into the catalog interface of the new project. Okay, so if I go back to my project here, you will see my new project created somewhere alphabetically here. You can find it that. So don't be stressed when you say, well, there's nothing here, right? But because this is a new project. And what we'll do next is so first we're going to check our project attributes. Creator is me, and then if you just hover by it, editors. If you want to add your teammates, again, you can go to this blue icon and then add your teammates' email, and they will be able to access and edit this project with you. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to import our assets we just uploaded into our account to this specific project. Okay, so go to project assets here on the right side of this grid banner, and then go here, add model from my account. And then the second option, there is a prefab. It's the AR markers if you wish to use AR, but we'll explain that later. So go to add model from my account. You will see all the models we ever uploaded into Design Heritage. But the newest will sort by date, right? The newest will always be the first couple of models. Okay, so we have to upload add model one by one. So that's one and that's two. Okay, so here, then if I go back to active models, right, you will see these two guys in my active models of this project. Okay, last part is that to open my project in edit mode, so you will see how the model look like in the 3D space. Okay, going into the storyboard editing mode, you will see here's my model, here's the grid, and a lot of things is going on right now. Okay, you will look at one by one. So first of all, where are my models? So you'll see, well, this is my house model. Okay, so it's there, it's casting shadows, it has color, everything's right. And then, hey, where's my where's my image model? Okay, so your image will be very small because remember your house is about 100 meters and the image, I believe default size of that is 1 meter. So sometimes you won't be able to see it in the viewport, but you can always find it on the left side under the models list. If I left click on this one, right, it will show up for me and you can move it in my 3D space, you can move it and then you can scale it. Right? I hit the scale button here and scale it up like that. And you can scale like this and scale like that. Yeah, it says a very similar transformation operations in any other 3D softwares. Yeah, so there's my image. Okay. And if you say, well, this is a little bit too small, okay, then make it larger. And then you can also go here. Right? You can also type in the exact amount of the this well you want to. Okay, now I will move it down here somewhere, and yeah, and that's it. So here's my model, right? Model, you're seeing some shadows casting. So this shadow is casted from the live shadow, right? From the sun source in this viewport, in this 3D space. And this orange box that you're looking at is what we call shadow box. So every model inside this shadow box will interact with the live light source, which is our sun in this case. Okay, and if I rotate this, if I rotate this, you'll see the shadow got rotated too, right? Because it's lightly casted here. Let me just reset it, reset rotation, go default, and it's back. So if I go default the scale of this one, it will go back to the very tiny one. So you can, if you accidentally press something, you can reset it. Okay, and then if I go, I'll just show you how the shadow box works. Okay, if if I make if your model is too big, you'll see if I your shadow, like the shadow of this tree, will be cut off by the shadow box. So right now the shadow box is a fixed size shadow box. So make sure everything is within this shadow box to receive shadow. Okay, let me find my line drawing again. So that's how we put in our models and find our models in in the initial state of our editing, storyboard editing mode. And if you don't want to see the shadow box or the grid, you can turn them off, turn them on and off on the bottom banner, show grid, don't show grid, show light helper, don't show light helper. Okay, so that's that's what you will see basically for the first state of your story. Okay, so now let me explain a little bit about how stories
Yeah,
how states works.
but if you log out now, does it stay like that when you open next time, or do you need to save it?
Oh, so if you log out now, because I was just moving things around without saving it, if I log out now, everything will go back to default. Like you will see the image being moved somewhere, and you cannot see it. So I think each time we make each time we make a change that we want, I recommend you just go to the second tab here, right? We had a model here, and to go to second tab here, go to states and then save states. we have a default state 0. Okay, I save my state 0. Then if I move the plan drawing, let me just, let me, if I move the plan drawing to here, we say, well, I want another state or another, basically another configuration, right, for my exhibition. So plan drawing is right over here. And I want to make a new state, a new configuration for this, then we should make a new state. So to make a new state, you just give a different state name. So perhaps you can type anything, including numbers and letters. Plan, right, drawing, right side, and then hit save state, and that will create, yeah, it will tell you this creates a new state. Right side, hit OK, and wait for it to be registered into our database. Now you will see the tab name is still 0. You can change that, and then on right side is the node for this state. So how to
So,
switch between states.
so the state name and display label, can you tell what's the difference?
So the state name will be the state identification in the
Yeah,
system.
in
Yeah,
the database.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll just change this plan move right.
yeah,
And then if I save it again, it will look for the state name
yeah.
and then update my display label. Save state. Yeah, you'll see the display label was updated, but my state name isn't changed. So if I go back to my original state, right, you will see the little animation that set everything to their location of that configuration of that state, state 0. And if I click on this again, it will show the configuration of this state that has
Yeah.
my plan move.
And also, please note that this way, there are different ways of saving state, but the way that she's showing also automatically saves the camera position when you save it. So you can have exactly the same objects at exactly the same position, but if you just want to save different camera locations, you can also use it. So now if you change the camera to look at the model from the other side, can we try? Can we just move the view?
Yeah, let me give it a new state name.
No,
And if I rotate like that
no,
to properly show the interior,
no.
and then yeah, include camera. Yeah,
Hmm.
so save state include camera, so it will take the camera rotation too. Right? So that's camera shift. So I go back to this one, and then I go back to this new this new state. Then you will see a different camera uh, position with the same model layout.
Okay, if you have two models coming from Revit, do they keep the position?
They do. This was the other half of that model, just I uploaded before, and then go to storyboard in edit mode. Okay, now you will see because the way that Takehiko sliced these two models in Revit, so they will be right next to each other. And also in Rhino, when you're editing the model color and it's grouping and grouping all those configurations, and then make sure you don't move the model accidentally. So when we import our models together into the design heritage system, that they will stay completely, they will stay right next to each other as they should in your Revit model. Let's say I want to move. I want to separate these two parts, like one animation Takahiro showed in his example project. So let's say I want to move this maybe to fit somewhere onto my plan drawing, right? The plan drawing is somewhere here, and you can align. I want to align this part to the plan drawing. That is that part. Okay, so I move this. So move the model first, and then the state name. State name. Uh, house. Plan. House on plan. Display label. House on plan. So if I go ahead and save this, okay, now I have the state available for me. So if I go back to the 0, you will see the model sliding sliding and snap to the larger model. And if I click on this house and plan, you will see it sliding back to approximately where it should be on the plan drawing. Okay, so that's that. And there are other things that we can do when we are switching between states. There are a couple of options of how we want the material or what we want the colors. So let me go back to my, so the yeah, house on plan. So let me go back to this one. And then you'll see there are some shader type, desaturated white color, cast shadow. So I will just show you one thing, is the white color. So if I click on that, so we will take away the color information and only retain its intensity information for the Revit model. You will see this becomes a white color, right? And that, yeah, I will just desaturate. I will just make it as a white color model, and then that I can make a new scene awesome plan Y, and I can move this off a little bit so you will see the state changing. And now I'll save state. Okay. So I have a fifth statement called house on plan white. So if I go to my house on plan, you will see this snaps back and then change back to the saturated color version. So if I go to here, go to the white part, so it moves and then it changed to the white color. Okay. Then what happens if I go to state 0? And of course you can do multiple things, right? So, and you can also switch between any two different states. So if from here I go to house and plan Y, you see that slides off, and then this becomes a white color in this state. If you have a photo that you want to show, for example, I want this photo to show somewhere in one state. You see, somewhere here, right? Because I want it to be aligned with a specific view. Okay, so I'll go to state, and then I should go to the state first, right? I should go to the state where I want the photo to show, and this state, and find my photo, adjust it at the correct position, like that, then translate here. Okay, so that's my photo for this state, house and plan white. I will save state. Okay, so now this state contains this photo at this particular position. And if I go to state 0, you will see the photo was being put to its original position. Okay, and on state 0, you can also turn off the photo. So if you go to the model, you can turn on and off. So turning on and off means that if you want the model to show in this state particular. So if I turn off my house model, it will disappear. If I turn it on, it will reappear. Right, so why not I turn off this one and the photo together? to save as my first state. And if I go back to my state with a photo, so you will see my house showed up and my photo showed up too. Okay, so if I go back to state 0, they will both disappear.
Okay, so let's see. You want to copy the location of the photograph that you have now to another
Mm-hmm.
state. So maybe in in whatever another state which doesn't have the photo showing, you want to
Mm-hmm.
show the photo at exactly the same location.
Mm-hmm.
So can you copy and paste the location?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go here. So go
yeah,
to the transform option. This copy will copy the transformation of this particular state,
yeah.
a particular object of this particular state. So I hit copy. It should be added to the clipping board. So if I
And
go to another state, I enable my photo. Then while I'm selecting on the photo, I go to paste,
no,
and it will uh, succeed the transforms that we just changed of another state, and then make sure we saved state again once we put something in the state to the desired location or the scale rotation. Yeah, just make sure save state is your good friend for this for the editing. So another thing is that when you are moving things around and keeping that in mind, there's no undo in this website yet. And if you have a very good configuration that you want to save, make sure you save it into a state that you can always go back to it. For example, I might just give it oh state, save state, save state, uh, save one. So if I, for example, if this is my like the base of my exhibition, and then I want I want a state of this of the big model, larger, big model smaller. So I want to save this one first. Okay, you will see it here. And then if I mistakenly put in somewhere, or even worse, I rotated it and say, oh my God, how do I go back to my a good configuration? And you can always always go back to your save state, and then you can continue from there. Yeah.
so in other words, you can undo only to the saved state.
Yeah. Whenever you click something save, you'll be able to go back to that. And the other thing you can always go back to is the default location, default rotations, for example. So I moved this one, remember? And then if I do the default, it will be snapped back to the original location of it when it was initially loaded. Remember, it was loaded right next to this big part of the model. So there are two go back you can do in this. One is again is the saved state, and the other one is the default. But we don't have go back button like Photoshop or Revit just yet. Okay, another useful tip for moving things around is that there's a difference between local axes and the world axis. So what it's doing is that if I select this photo, so for example, my photo might be tilted or somewhere here, right? And I want to put this photo somewhere else. If I'm using the local axis and go to translate, you will see the gizmos are kind of parallel to the local axis of this photo. So if I want to say I want to move it somewhere else here, right, on this height over here, it will be very difficult for me. I have to do this and have to do that, right? It's not very convenient. And however, if I turn off the local axis, then you will see the gizmo here is showing up aligned with the world axis XYZ. And then if I move it If I just move this side, I believe that's y-axis. I can easily put the photo on top of this model. I just yeah very easily. And then of course you can also turn that off. And if you see, well, I want well, I want this photo to be not this tilt this yeah, then you'll be able to edit it the local axis. Yeah, maybe something like that or like that. The last tip for editing your scene, your state is that there's a set target option for your camera. So what it does is to set the wheel and set the wheel point of your camera. Let's see how it works. So go to hit left click on set target and then click on any of the model here. So I will click on this photo. You will see my camera switched, right? My camera moved. And then one good thing about that is that no matter how close I zoom into the photo, I won't my camera won't go past it because the camera target is assigned at this object. So if you guys have maybe you want a really detailed comparison of some photo versus your model, you can use this
And you
option.
can you can rotate the view around that point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I rotate the wheel, you'll see the wheel will be rotated based on this, right? Based on the camera target. Okay, so if I want to switch the camera target, say, let's say, oh, I want to go past this photo, right, and see the kitchen part of my house. Okay. And you have to click on set target and then click on the building here. And now if I zoom into the photo, you will see it passed that easily. However, I can zoom in really close to my building model now and then show some good details about around it. Okay. And if I rotate my camera, you can see it is rotating around. It's a rotating according to the geometric center of my kitchen model over here.